Welcome to the Mojo Market Report. Here's your hosts, Dave Sturchio and Chris Gueci.
That is, in fact, a good idea. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Mojo Market Report here on a Wednesday. It is Hump Day, ladies and gentlemen, and we are excited to be back. It is Dave Sturchio. It is Chris Gueci. It is time for another time and another time. So, listen, a lot of things going on today. Obviously, you know, the week 2 is come and gone, right? If you're a fantasy football player, I hope you got all the waiver guys you could. I know I did not. I woke up to a bunch of rejection emails, and I was like, cool. Good thing I got the Mojo Market because I'm about to make some money that way this week. Obviously, Wednesdays are a little different for us because, you know, obviously Monday you're coming off of the big NFL slate.
It's almost like you don't have enough time to talk everything.
Right. And then Tuesdays, you're coming off the Monday to say, and typically we're not going to get 2 Monday Night Football games. That was a little bit of a treat, even though both games kind of, it just felt a little flat.
I'm good with one.
I'm good with one too, especially for energy-wise. Like, I don't know. I did have my split screen up, which was great. I was watching games simultaneously, which was fun. But, like, at the same time, it's like both games were runaways. It was just ugly. Unless you have a little bit of stock in Jalen Hurts, then it was fun.
All right, Dave, we get it.
I'm going to flex that one. If I have to root against the Eagles as a whole, I'm going to at least root for the fact that Jalen Hurts is going to be an MVP candidate this year.
We call that a silver lining.
Yes, we call that a silver
lining, consolation prize, whichever one you want to go
with. Right. So today, being that there was no games, on Wednesdays and typically Thursdays, we're going to want to try to dive a little deeper into some of the things that we think are prevalent to the Mojo Market and what we think you should do. You know what I mean? Like, you should get involved in certain players. You should do your research as the weeks get long. You're going to start seeing some matchups that you like. So we'll see how that goes. But first and foremost, just like every day so far, for the first 2 days, I know it's like we're so deep into the Mojo Market Report season here.
Find a groove.
Yeah, we're trying to find a groove here, but we do like to cover the top movers. So, Chris, you got to hit me with them. Who's moving this morning?
So we don't have too much volatility. As you said, there was no games yesterday, and there's no games today, so there's nothing really in the news that's of note. But there is some guys on the move, nothing too crazy. Darius Slayton on his way up, 2.31% up to $3.18. That's not a bad bargain, I feel like, if you are looking. Giants are playing well. They do have a tough defensive matchup against your Cowboys this weekend, though. And some quarterback stuff. All three guys on the move in the positive direction. Surprisingly for most people to hear this name, Trey Lance on the way up at 1.74%.
Whoa. I got what?
We'll circle back. Justin Herbert and Zach Wilson both also on their way up a little over 1%. And on their way down, a Darren Waller. I'm not sure. I didn't see any injury designation attached to his name. I'm going to have to look a little deeper into that. And then Tua. I'm not even going to attempt to say the full name at this point.
Turn the ball over.
It's way too early for that.
Tagovailoa.
Thank you for that, Dave. And then Chuba Hubbard, all on their way down. So the Darren Waller thing, I have to do a deeper dive into. But the Tua thing, do you raise an eyebrow at that one a little bit?
I mean, he had himself a heck of a day,
exactly.
Right? And then he goes up, and then levels
out. It's only natural. So don't
ebbs and flows, ladies and gentlemen, ebbs and flows.
I wouldn't worry too much about that downward spiral for Tua. He had a really good game, and it's only natural for him to drop off the top of the mountain a little bit. But circling back to the quarterbacks. Trey Lance had successful surgery, so I'm hoping that...
Wait. Did it not go up because of successful
100%.
surgery? 100%. I love it.
Which is what we're looking for on the Trey Lance rebuy. If you're looking to reinforce your position, or what's the word I'm looking for? Increase your position on Trey Lance right now. We found our bottom, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is it for him, as long as he has no setbacks.
So it's all the way up.
The 32-47... It's only going to go up from here for Trey Lance. I think good news from this point forward.
So you're saying I made a mistake?
No.
Okay.
I'm saying that now you could kind of buy low on Trey.
Done.
That's not this segment, though. Justin Herbert, I think he's going to play. I think that announcement...
the flak jacket
That
thing.
announcement was what spiked him a little bit. And then Zach Wilson is just being seen day to day, every single day, doing more and more at practice.
Getting healthy.
And getting closer and closer. And... this Jets offense has me a little excited. We could talk about that. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. It depends how much time we got.
I got to circle back real quick to Slayton. My assumption is that Galladay is just in the dumpster right now. So, therefore, somebody's got to step up.
Yeah.
Outside of the norm of Shepard and, I guess, their tight ends, their young tight ends, and Barkley. So, their offensive weapons, somebody's got to do something. So, maybe people are starting to recognize that, look, Slayton's been here for more than a cup of coffee. He knows the offense. He knows Daniel Jones. And I think that's probably why he's on the move.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. Kadarius Toney and
Tony hasn't really
Kenny
implemented
Galladay
himself
haven't really
yet.
gotten themselves going, so somebody's got to catch passes over there. I just don't think they're going to have an easy time with it this week, so it's a little curious for me. But nonetheless, that's the top movers, baby.
back to me, Dave.
Back to you, Dave.
So anyway, so there's the top movers for today. And obviously, you can see them scrolling on the bottom of your screen if you're watching us. If you're listening to us on a podcast form, be sure to just listen and turn the volume all the way up. But you have it all in front of you. You have the Mojo app. Download the Mojo app if you haven't done it already. It is one of the most I don't know. It's clean. It's smooth.
Clean.
Nothing. There's no like, oh, this is wrong. You know what I mean? Like everything that I've seen out of this app is just like, they might have spent a coin on this to get this thing developed.
Oh yeah.
So-
That's a lot of questions are coming in, but the most common thing that's said to me is, bro, I can't believe how smooth it is. I can't believe how clean, and it's very informative. All you got to do is go check. Just do a little bit of digging, and you'll find all these questions that you people are asking me. Just Google. Not even Google. Search on the app.
It's all there.
Super easy.
It's all there. There's no questions asked about that. All right. So, Chris, I know you've been waiting for this. All right. I know you've been waiting for this to at least explain to the masses as to what we're about to do right now, because we've been talking about it since Monday. We actually teased it Monday, talked about it yesterday for half a second, and today it's finally the first installment of the bargain basement. Okay. So the bargain basement is as such. Chris, explain to me, because if I'm brand new, look, there's going to be some seasoned vets coming into this app, and they know exactly what you're going to be looking for right now. But for somebody who's brand new to all of this, how exactly are you looking, and what players and why are you starting to look at these guys' prices and fluctuate
so
like that?
bargain basement, this is just talking about not necessarily guys that have a low share price, but also guys that I feel like are a crazy bargain at this current juncture in time. When we're talking about guys that have a lower share price, there's just a higher volatility on those players. If you have a Tom Brady, the Aaron Rodgers, those guys have amassed career points, banked value.
There you go.
They amassed some banked value, and it can't be taken away from them. So without getting too deep into it, I just want to say that volatility is high on the lower share price players, and you can increase volatility on the vets and the established players by using multipliers, but we'll get more into that as the show goes on. Maybe not today.
Start us off. Start us off. Well, somebody close to home, and that's your Packers.
Oh, okay.
The
So here we
Packers
go.
receiving situation. Obviously, look, Devontae Adams is shipped out of town in the offseason. Everybody's wondering, okay, what's going to happen? Aaron Rodgers has went on record saying, well, the days of throwing the one guy 15, 16 times are over. So, Chris, explain to me why these guys are in the bargain basement and where you see them kind of playing out for the rest of the year. You are a Packers expert.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
So get involved in that one.
Okay, so ROMEO DOUBS and Christian Watson, they've both seen sporadic playing time in the first two games, but enough as to where you want to say that the Packers definitely have long-term belief in them, because 2 games in, ROMEO DOUBS, he's had about 5 or 6 touches, but he's getting snaps, and same thing with Watson. If you look at last week, the 2 players that on the Packers that did the most through the passing game was Sammy Watkins and Randall Cobb, and both of those guys going forward, they always get hurt. Sammy Watkins, Randall Cobb, they haven't been able to stay on the field for a full season, maybe ever. Right, I haven't done the actual Randall Cobb maybe once or twice, but
not Randall
Cobb again. Gotta love it.
YouTube that one,
But
folks.
because of the age of those 2 receivers, that Aaron Rodgers tends to trust his older receivers, but as the season goes on, those guys may not be available, as well as the fact that the seasoning that the other 2 guys need in a Doubs and a Christian Watson, they're going to get that seasoning. So by Week 8, you might see a complete turnaround on who these 2 guys are, on the 2 starters that Aaron Rodgers is looking to most. The talent is there. I don't want to sit here and say I want to pick one over the other, because
Don't do it.
I'm all in on both of them.
I mean, that's the beauty part. You can invest in both
That's
of
the
them
beauty of
right
it.
now.
It's not like fantasy football where if you take one, you're like, I can't have
There's
both.
my receiver.
I can't have both receivers on
Yes,
the
you can.
Packers.
Yes, you absolutely
In
can.
Mojo, you absolutely can.
Just to
And
note,
will.
yeah, just to note, through 2 games, Doubs with 6 catches for 64 yards, and Christian Watson 5 catches for 43 yards. So very, very similar. None of them have seen pay dirt yet, according to this.
No.
So
But they're getting the ball in
They're there.
space, trying to create some jet screens, a couple of other unique ways to get these guys involved.
there's only
early.
45 completions to go around for 2 weeks, and according to this, they own 11
What
of
do you
them.
think that 75-yard touchdown that Watson dropped in his breadbasket would have been worth?
Oh, Can you imagine if you're watching that and you're
points.
seeing that thing in slow motion and you start like hearing like R. Kelly, I Believe I Can Fly or something like that, and you're just like, and then just
So we were working
and then after that you would think Rogers is like, okay, enough of this.
We were working with the design team trying to get the graphics going for today's show, and as we're looking through Christian Watson, it's like every single picture that I saw was him holding his helmet. I was like, can I find
I'm sorry,
something
did you
of this
also
guy
say
doing
design
something
team?
good? I did.
Just you?
No. There's a bunch of us.
Yeah,
in
there's
there.
like 60 people out there in the common room and working their tails off here at Shop Studios.
The design team, Dave.
Design team, I like it. All right, so outside of your beloved Packers, we move on to a team within the division, somebody who hasn't played yet, and that's Jameson Williams, receiver for the Detroit Lions. Now, you're high on this guy. You've been high on this guy, and it's almost as if we're waiting for the news to get off the ground here.
I'm not sure when he's going to come back, but this Detroit Lions offense has something going right now. And with the respect that Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to start to receive from opposing defenses, you got to assume that my boy Jameson Williams, and I say my boy, I'm going to hate him in about 3 weeks. I promise you. But for right now, I'm all in on Jameson Williams.
Yeah.
I feel like there's only going to be good news coming out, barring a major setback from this injury. This guy was supposed to be the Jamar Chase of this year's draft class, and he's the most talented player in this year's draft class as far as I saw it. I know that Garrett Wilson has some arguments to be made about who might be the Jamar Chase of this year's draft class,
Well,
but
Garrett
there
Wilson's
doesn't have
on the
to be,
field, too, so
there
that's
doesn't
why.
have to be just one. I understand that 100%, but don't sleep on Jameson Williams because in a couple weeks you're going to get news that he's back at practice. He's actually been practicing. It would be nice to see him trade that practice jersey for a real one and get out there and get clamped up by Jair at least once this season. But every other week, you could go do your thing.
You're still confident on, like, I know we talked about Amon-Ra St. Brown a little bit, but, like, you're still confident in, like, insert next guy here, meaning Jameson Williams, when he comes off the pup and when he gets onto the field and starts to play. Do you believe in the fact that they could spread the ball around? It'll be, there's only one ball to go around. Jared Goff isn't, the greatest in the
but
world.
Outside of Hawkinson, could you name another pass catcher on that team? And I don't mean to put you on the spot. I do this on purpose because it's not easy on the spot to name another Lions pass catcher.
It's easy. Jamal Williams out of the backfield.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at right now. So Jameson Williams fits in really nice.
Wait a minute. Time out. Can't even say DJ Chark. Do.
Okay. But you eventually got there.
Yeah, no, you're right. It took me a little while.
But Jameson Williams is clearly a better talent than DJ Chark. And that's not saying anything bad about Chark. I've kicked the tires on a DJ Chark now and again in fantasy, but this is a little different over here.
A little different. Okay. And also, one of your favorite players, since we've started the rehearsal process of all this, you are a big guy on Mr. Smoke himself, Devin Duvernay.
Yes.
Look at that. He's on fire. His feet are on fire,
So
folks.
if you guys if you notice, me and the design team, when we were designing this graphic, we couldn't figure out how to stop this guy. So he was all over the screen.
He's
all over the field, catching touchdowns in week 1, 2 of them at that, and returns the opening kickoff in week 2, and really won the game for the Ravens if it wasn't for Tua. Wait, they scored 90 points. He didn't win anything. But Devin Duvernay, he's increased his playing time each season. Year 1, he was a kick returner. Year 2, he was a kick and punt returner. Sprinkled some splash plays on offense. This guy's like the smaller version of Debo, only he's not a superstar, so they're willing to let him return kicks and punts. This guy's going to make plays this season. Special teams, offense. I'm surprised he doesn't have a pick 6 yet. I'm waiting for that one. Devin Duvernay.
You know what, Devin? Go play some defense,
Devin
bro.
Duvernay at $5.43 a share
that's
right
a
now.
bargain,
The public
my friend.
has not caught on to Devin Duvernay yet, so I tell you now. This is a safe one here. It's a bargain basement, but like Devin Duvernay, if you watch him, he passes the eye test. I'm all in on Devin Duvernay. Diversify with Devin. Or diversify with Duvernay.
You can do both.
I like Devin.
I like Devin too.
Devin.
It's stronger. All right, there's your bargain basement, and it's being brought to you by Mojo. So bargain basement is something we definitely want to dive into each and every week to give you guys a little bit of a heads up as to, who's the guys to keep your eye on, even closer to Sunday when injury designations start getting a little clearer. There's other guys out there that, look, you just do the research, man. Get on the app, do the research, and you got it. So, all right, now I want to play a little game with you, Chris, if that's okay with you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
like
you like games?
I like games.
Games are fun, right? All right, so let's play a little game. And this game is called Stash or Cash. That means What, Chris? What are we doing with stash or cash?
So if we're stashing a player, you're either going to buy him and hold him, and if you're cashing a player, you're either going to you already own him or you're already invested in this player, and you're going to cash in on it now because you see that he reached his ceiling. His true potential has been reached, and it's only downhill from here.
Okay, so basically like those 1 week, 2 week wonders that you're like, well, I had them. They're great. They made me some coin, and now I'm out.
We may have to do a little audible as we go because there's a few more things that I could kind of implement into this whole game.
All right, a guy we talked about yesterday for a little bit because we were talking about the 100 club over at the quarterbacks. But
yes.
Chris, stash or cash? Derek Carr.
This is a good one for me. I'm going to have to go with stash on a Derek Carr. Market projections have him a little bit less than where I was talking about them. The market projections having him at yesterday. I kind of did the equation a little bit backwards, but that said, I'm still in on a Derek Carr because of the reasons that I pointed out yesterday. Is that they just signed his best friend Davante Adams to a long-term contract. That guaranteed money keeps Davante in town. Davante in town keeps Derek Carr in town. So this is probably going to be the best version of an offense that he's going to get to play for over the next 2 or 3 seasons, barring the whole McDaniels experiment. I'm not so sure about that one.
I was just going to say, so when it comes to Derek Carr, right,
Go ahead.
This guy has survived a lot of coaching regimes. You know, like he's been around for quite some time, and he went from Gruden to last year's, was it Pistachio?
Bisaccia.
Your special teams guy now. He was there last year, and then they moved to McDaniels. And before Gruden was what? I can't even, was it Jack Del Rio? You know what I mean? Like he was involved in that. There's a lot of guys that have had their influence on one Derek Carr, and it's a testament to the Raiders management, upper management, GM, owners, right? Despite the haircut, you know, there's faith in Derek Carr. So even when you said, you know, they brought in Davante Adams, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. They're bringing him in. I think the long-term investment was there.
No? Didn't they also pay Carr?
I feel like multiple times. Like
They
multiple.
have, but like even recently, I feel like Derek Carr got.
Yeah. No, he didn't reset the market like others, but
No.
he got his.
But
he got his coin.
he's in the Kirk Cousins territory as far as money. I don't know about guaranteed money, but I know he's close.
So this is 1,000% a stash.
100%,
Yeah.
1,000%, 1,000,000%, whichever percentage you want to put on it. I'm in on Derek Carr. Like I said before, he's just consistent. He's managed to weather the storm through all the ups and the downs and the ins and the outs of the coaching staffs and the coordinators. And the one constant
Roster changes.
One constant has been Derek Carr. I could anticipate seeing that at least for the next 3 or 4 years with the addition of Davante. And as offenses start putting up more points and more numbers, and Derek Carr is probably entering a period of his career where, like I said, he's going to have the most weapons that he's had at any point with Davante, and they're boys. Bro, they're boys.
Yes, they're best friends. They're college roommates.
Third and Renfro, apparently he was concussed, so we're going to give him the pass.
Third and Renfro might turn into third and not on the field.
No, stop it.
I'm just saying.
What, because of a concussion, I hope, not because of poor play?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Come on, I love Renfro. Are you kidding
I was
me?
going to say, Dave, what happened overnight?
I don't like Renfro anymore. All right, moving on to a tricky player, Chris. Stash or cash, Cordarelle Patterson, running back. I say that with big ol' air quotes.
Okay.
Stash or cash, Cordarelle Patterson of the Falcons.
It's funny. Unless I bought in on Cordarelle Patterson prior to last season, which wasn't a possibility.
Like, he could be a
then
running back.
I can't see myself ever getting involved on a Cordarelle Patterson. So I'm going to throw Blue 80, an audible here.
Oh, Omaha.
Right?
Omaha.
We're going to audible here, and I'm going to pass altogether. There was never a point outside of pre-2021, and I wasn't around for that one, or at least the Mojo app wasn't.
I was going to say, you're here.
Yeah, I was here for that one.
That's good. Presently.
That said, Cordarelle Patterson is a pass for me because he's on the wrong side of 30. He's never actually succeeded as a running back prior to his year 10 or year 11. I don't know what year he's in, but I know it's double digits, and that's not a good sign for a running back. They invested some draft capital in the running back position. I know that they're going to use him until the wheels fall off, but I feel like the wheels might fall off sooner than we would like. I got to pass on Cordarelle Patterson much as it's a great story.
Yeah,
I like the player. I just can't get I can't get involved. Financially, I can't do it.
Nah, there's a lot of hype and there's a lot of responsibility falling on the shoulders of one Cordarelle Patterson, right? Like the running game was improved because of him last year. And then you decided, hey, we don't really need Matt Ryan anymore. Let's go with Marcus Mariota. So now all of a sudden, Cordarelle Patterson might be relied on again as a pass catcher. There's a lot of pressure on one Cordarelle Patterson. And with the fact that they lost Justin Gage and we have a man on suspension, there's There's not a lot of talent to go around other than the fact that they drafted Drake London. He seems to be pretty good so far. So, but when you look at this guy, you're right. There's too many variables with Cordarelle Patterson. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Just completely pass on this guy.
And I don't want, and this is probably going to come off wrong because I feel like a lot of times when people say this, it's almost like an attack on a player's character. He got paid.
He did.
So when you get paid, things change a little bit. It's hard. I'm not trying to sit here and say he's not working hard, but when you get paid, you made it.
Yeah. That's true.
Not like he wasn't paid after 9 years playing in the NFL.
Right. I mean, look, the minimum salary.
He got a really. He wasn't getting minimum. He made himself some money, but now he got paid.
Like a running back.
So he didn't. Get paid.
Like a running back. He's paid like a running back.
Like
Remember
a year
that.
10 running back.
There you go. Perfect. So I can't wait to see what they do with Zeke in a couple years.
Oh, God.
So moving on to another receiver within the NFC South, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give you this. Chris, Stash or Cash, DJ Moore.
This one pains me to say this.
Don't do it. Really?
Yeah.
You're a big DJ Moore guy.
It pains me to say this, but like DJ Moore, he's been with me for quite some time.
He's even looking at you like, what did I do wrong?
Yeah, bro. He's like, dude, I thought we were cool. You should have heard him on my fantasy draft days because I didn't take him in any leagues.
Wow.
And
after basically telling the world to take him this year.
DJ Moore, I've invested more draft capital in fantasy on DJ Moore than any non-Packer player in the history of the NFL. DJ Moore, he just follows me everywhere, and now he's upset with me. I could see him over there staring at me. It's not DJ. I'll be back next year. Just get rid of Boo Hoo Baker, and that's really what it comes down to.
Is that what it is?
I just can't get behind anything Baker Mayfield. I can't do it. Nobody went to his birthday party.
Oh, we're both Callahan in this?
If you get that reference, I'm not a fan of the movie, but I love that reference. And I love that line. Nobody went to Baker's birthday party, bro. His teammates don't like him. Myles Garrett didn't return his text. For that reason, I'm out on DJ Moore.
Mark Cuban over here. For that reason, I'm out.
Bye. Gotta do it.
Or Alex Rodriguez, who also is on Shark Tank. But, dude, that's a really funny thing. I'm with you on that. Robbie Anderson has built a little bit more of a rapport so far within 2 weeks. It's very early for us to say this. We could be literally having this conversation in mid-November, but like, guys, get in on DJ Moore right now because he's having a ball-out season. You can't predict.
Wait, is Darnold going to come back? Is Darnold?
Oh, man, you're really off
because
on Baker.
It ain't going to be Baker, guys. It ain't going to be Baker.
All right. I mean, look, I went on record, and I get flamed for it.
If you ever wanted to, think about what investing in Baker Mayfield stock, just go Google the video of him doing that dance, and you'll be like, I can't. I'm out.
I'm out. So you're cool with investing in a guy like Jamar Chase. I'm sorry, Justin Jefferson and Thielen, and guys are doing the gritty. But this guy dancing is like no. It's a big red flag. No dice. I don't want anything to do with it.
I think his girlfriend broke up with him after that
right
video,
after
bro.
that.
He's like, no.
Right after one of the State Farm commercials.
Yep.
Like a good neighbor, Baker's gone. So yeah.
Yeah, no. Baker, I'm out on Baker. I know this wasn't a Baker Mayfield segment, but I can't help it.
Yeah, you really can't help yourself. He's done this on multiple shows and platforms. All right, so one more guy, very interesting guy right now because his stock has gone up since the beginning of the season. There's reasons behind this. Chris, Stash or Cash, not Gerald Everett, single-digit Gerald Everett. This is a big, big deal. The guy goes from in the 80s like a normal tight end, drops his number down to 7, and is now the fastest kid alive.
Yeah. Who is it? Sauce told me he's Anquan Bolden now, right? He's like, why is a young Anquan Bolden playing tight end for the Chargers out in LA right now? Yeah, I'm all in. Single digit Gerald Everett. He changed his number. What is it? 7?
7. Yeah.
7.
You know
is that for the amount of touchdowns he's going to score this weekend?
It's this weekend in general. Wow. I was all in on Gerald Everett. No, I wasn't all in on Gerald Everett. I can't lie. What I will say is I was all out on the NFL allowing these guys to change their numbers down to single digits and whatever they want because it's just confusing to me. That's something I hate about college football when the kickers are kicking off their number like 97. And I'm just like, this is just, ugh.
I love it all.
Dude, no. When I was a kid, they told me,
oh, stop.
You're playing the offensive line, so you got to pick either the 50s or the 60s. That's it. If I wanted to go out there, I would be like, I'm the center. I'm going to go 21 Dion's my favorite.
The one good thing that they did get right was like offensive linemen. No. You have to still have crappy numbers. Everyone else, literally everyone else, you guys can pick whatever number you want. But offensive linemen, you guys haven't mattered. But matter so much. But you like technically that's your
The problem is if you're not related to any of these guys, you're not selling any jerseys.
That's your calling card, though. It's like, yeah, we don't need the glory. We're the hogs.
Yeah.
Right?
Listen, I'm all for it, but talk to me a little bit about GERALD Everett, considering the fact that we just got really excited about his speed because of a single-digit number.
Well, GERALD Everett plays on one of the most high-powered offenses.
He does.
With Justin Herbert at quarterback. He has Keenan Allen, who was out last week, but Keenan Allen being there only helps GERALD Everett.
I think so.
You didn't see a dip or an increase one way or the other. He's been involved in the offense both games. I expect that to continue going forward. The Chargers have fed their tight ends historically. If you look, Kellen Winslow, Antonio Gates, could he be the next one? That's a little lofty, but the Chargers have done really well at the tight end position historically. I'm not gonna say he can't do it, but he looks like he can. I'll tell you that much. Sure as hell looks like he can.
So, based off of his physical appearance and the jersey number he wears, please, right now,
and
buy and cash and stash this guy
the
forever.
Optics are there, but he's playing. He's getting the snaps.
Yes.
He's involved on pass downs and running downs. He does it all. So, yes, GERALD Everett, buy, stash, hold.
Yeah, I would.
Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, you can consider it pretty much everything you could do about GERALD Everett, I would do. So, right now, just to give you an idea, Everett has 9 catches for 125 yards and a touchdown. That's through 2 games. So he is third on his team right now in receptions behind Eckler, who gets all that stuff out of the backfield, and Mike Williams, obviously. But he's a favorite all of a sudden of Justin Herbert. If you find him in open space, all of a sudden, like we just said, a little bit faster. Don't know how that happened. But
he's probably going to be 4th on the team in receptions when it's all said and done. But that's pretty good regardless because Eckler's going to eat a lot out of the backfield. And you know Mike Williams is boom or bust. I think he might even be a little more consistent with less of a ceiling but a higher floor than a Mike Williams.
Oh, all right.
Different position, but yeah.
Interesting to say the least. So that is your stash or cat. I'm going to try to hit you with a little bit harder ones. I feel like this was a layup for you for the first time.
You got more?
I don't have any more. Just throw them out there.
You could go.
Yeah,
let's
rapid fire freestyle.
I'm good.
All right,
I'm good.
All right, feel that. Stash or cash? Tony Pollard.
You know I'm out on Zeke and I'm in on Pollard, right? Dave, was that?
It was a layup. Another.
I had to look at
layup.
Dave for like, wait.
Like, did he actually say this? All right.
Do you want me to give my insight, or do you know my insight? One's a pass blocker and one's a running back.
Oh, you put some.
No, I'm kidding. Look, Zeke. The way this offense is set up now, I feel like there's going to be a lot of third down situations. And I'm not saying that, no disrespect to Cooper Rush, but there's going to be some third down situations.
You might want to put respect on the only undefeated starter in the history of the NFL right now.
The history of the NFL.
Go ahead. Do it.
The only undefeated
starter in the history of the NFL.
Say Trey Lance.
Oh, yeah, lost week 1. Undefeated starter in the history of the NFL. I might be completely wrong, and there's probably a couple guys that started one game here and there.
Bro.
Look, recency bias. Like, I'm all over this Cooper. But I'm serious. Tony Pollard, like, you have the stock price for Zeke is obviously high. Tony Pollard's a little lower. The future of this team, this is a walk year for him. Let's keep that in mind.
Well, that's reason number 1.
Yeah, and 2 and 3 and 4,
and 2 and 3 and 5 and 10 and billion. It's his walk year. He's playing for a contract. So yes, Tony Pollard. Zeke is going to be facing a lot of stacked boxes on first and second down, and that's going to create a lot of third and longs. And in third and long, typically you get Pollard.
Okay. We're headed to MetLife Stadium this week.
Yes,
we're going to be joining up with Mojo in a little bit of a Jets tailgate. That'll be fun.
Okay.
Do some interviews, right? Let's talk some Jets for a second, right before we get out of here. Michael Carter.
I love him.
Michael Carter,
$5 Michael Carter. Yeah,
okay.
He's like half the price of a Breece Hall right now.
Right.
I guess it's based on draft where they drafted him and things like that. But I feel like same deal with Pollard. I think you're going to see both those backs often. Jets as a whole.
It's interesting, man. The whole Jets conversation
Jets
is really
if you look around to the skill position players in the Jets, Zach Wilson, he's 19 years old, right? At least he looks like he's 19, so he's 20. All right? He's 20 years old.
He cannot go to the bars
Carter,
yet.
Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore.
It's going to be interesting.
Bro, all these guys are in year 1 or 2. If there's a team that I might invest in every one of their skill players and just hope for the best, because in this situation, if one guy gets hurt, I don't know if I'm. Maybe I'll have to talk to my people, my team.
Okay, you have a team now.
Yeah, they do all the research for me.
You got design teams, you got research teams.
I'm going to talk to my research team.
You have like an enterprise that I don't even know about.
I'm going to talk to my research team and see if they could find out some stuff on this Jets offense, because I feel like if you just invest in all of them, right?
You could.
If Garrett Wilson goes down, like Elijah Moore will eat a little more that week. So it's like get the yin and the yang.
Spread the wealth.
No.
Spread the wealth.
Yeah, I like this Jets offense. All good young talent, very low price right now. It could be 5-10 years from now where we're talking about all these Jets offensive players, and we're like, could you imagine if you invested in all of them on show 3 of the
Mojo Market Report?
Now's your opportunity. So
Now's your opportunity.
I'm high on the Jets.
Get involved. All right, guys, look. It has been another show. It has been a very successful one. We're very excited about this particular show because of the fact that there's a little bit more on the deep dives, and we're trying to pump you guys with enough analysis out of our behalf on what and who to invest in over at the Mojo Market over there. Download the app. And again, subscribe to the YouTube channel and do all the things you do for social media. Follow these guys everywhere. Their social medias continue to blow up. Alex Rodriguez put out a tweet yesterday about it. Everybody,
Bro, I got like a notification from Twitter, and it was Alex Rodriguez. I was like, Alex Rodriguez just tweeted me?
No.
And I was like, no.
We're still waiting for him to join the next meeting.
It was just like I follow A-Rod's tweets, so.
Yeah, all right. So anyway, for Dave Sturchio, Chris Gueci, this has been another episode of the Mojo Market Report. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow morning.
Woo!
Like,
to the moon.
To the moon.